When I was younger, I used to play soccer. I played for 14 years. I'm 22 now, so that means I've spent more of my life playing the game than not. I started taking the game pretty seriously by the time I was 13. So serious that I made one of the most prestigious development teams in my hometown of Pittsburgh. We had professional level training and traveled to some places most adults haven't even visited, let alone high school kids. I mean, I had some teammates who went to some pretty big shot schools. Rutgers, Notre Dame, Illinois, Villanova, Pitt, just to name a few. I thought about playing here at JMU, but realized pretty quickly I didn't want to be a student athlete anymore. But this one girl I knew had a pretty conflicting experience with soccer. Despite the intense training, fresh jerseys, state-of-the-art facilities, she never fully loved her experience. She thought our coach, our team, never really gave her a chance. She was never the fastest. There was always someone more prolific in her position, and she never really felt valued. She also felt that our coach was a little more focused on making a name for himself, that he forgot that his job was to teach us how to make names for ourselves, but that's a different topic and a different talk. Despite all of those feelings, she still easily had the most passion out of everyone on the team. Even when she knew she wasn't the most valuable player, she still traveled, she still went to practice, and she still tried to make friends. By the spring of our final season, she decided to end her soccer career a little earlier than everyone else. She already knew she wasn't going to play soccer in college, so she determined at our last regular season game, before all the traveling with regionals and nationals, that it was going to be her last game for good. The game went on normally, although our coach put her in a little more than usual because he knew it was her last game. But then something happened. With 5 minutes left in the game, the coach took this girl out. It was the last time she was ever going to step off the field of an organized soccer game. She started jogging off and was met with roaring applause and standing ovation from both teams and both sides of fans. The entire stadium was applauding for this girl for her efforts throughout her time playing soccer. So obviously she's bawling her eyes out, and our parents are bawling their eyes out, and even the team's getting a little misty-eyed. After the game, the team huddled around her and took turns sharing words about how much she changed the team's dynamic. Our team captain, who she was sort of close with, but not really that close, gave a really beautiful speech about how much she enjoyed getting to know her and how, despite what anyone said, including her, she thought she was a great player. Even the coach, who, if you remember, she still wasn't that fond of, had some really uplifting things to say about her. And I can say that moment in time was a staple in my life, let alone in my leadership efforts. In that moment, it could be seen all over her face. She felt valued. She felt like she was going to be missed. She felt impactful. It was life-changing to be a part of. The moral of the story is this: you don't have to play the most minutes or score the most goals or sell the most inventory or create the best company to be considered a leader. See, a lot of times people measure their leadership success with tangible things, which in many cases is okay. If you're a sales manager, success takes the form of increased sales. But what about the intangibles? What about the members of the soccer team or the members of a sales team feeling like they're making a difference? I define intangible success as giving or receiving some form of recognition that is not associated with a physical object, but still makes us feel valued. It's easy to get wrapped up in reaching a material goal, and sometimes we forget about those goals that may never get reached, but are goals that we should always strive for. Although we can't show it off like a plaque or a social media shout out, almost everyone has a professional goal to be known as reliable, organized, approachable. Word reinforcement and relationship building are the best indicators that what you are doing is working. It's a manager telling you, hey, you really made a difference in that meeting back there. That's impact. It's finally starting to make real friends within your department because you're starting to build that trust. That's value. Those feelings are what produce better work. Those feelings are what motivate followers and employees to want to do better and feel that sense of value again. That's why shout outs at work or those different programs that showcase employees are so favorable. I remember this one time I was working as a server at Olive Garden, and I had this table with a bunch of kids, and long story short, my efforts didn't go unnoticed because the moms of those kids wrote to corporate about me, saying how great their experience was, and that it started with me. Corporate emailed my manager letting him know that I got this compliment, and my manager printed the email out and posted it in the kitchen for everyone to see. And that was really cool. And I felt valued then. And I remember I killed it the rest of that shift, and I didn't get anything, but I still felt rewarded somehow. So knowing this as a leader, I want to capitalize on my followers feeling that value. Maybe it's just a simple gesture here and there, a simple act of recognition or appreciation. Because when you do this, you're giving your followers something that all humans want, a sense of validation. When we're told that we're doing good work and that people are noticing our efforts, it's sort of like a green light to keep going and continue to do that good work with the mindset so many people benefit from: the individual, the team, the job, the grade. That's what happened with the soccer team, the captain and the coach and the rest of the team. We were all able to give something to that girl that made her feel valuable despite not being a star player. She may not have had the tangible awards or playing time to show for, but hearing how this girl was considered a friend to the captain, or was the inspiration for one of the starters to play better because of what she said to her at halftime a couple of months ago, that sounds pretty successful to me. The girl didn't even remember what she said, but it was impactful to someone back then, which makes it even more impactful now. So if you're wondering about that girl that I knew, the one who never played but still got the standing ovation, well, if you're wondering what happened to her, she's about to graduate James Madison University, and she's giving this TED Talk right now. That was me. I wasn't the fastest. There was always someone more prolific in my position. And yet at the end of it all, I still felt valued. I can tell you that one intangible day made up for all of the days without a single tangible recognition or reward. 14 years was dedicated to soccer. And all of the downs I had, because believe me, I had many, my last game is how I remember it. My career was so successful, and I felt like a leader. So I'll leave you with this challenge: to think of a time when you felt intangible success so powerful that you left feeling truly valued, that made you feel like all of the hard work and the rough days were worth it, even if you weren't the fastest or you weren't the most prolific. We've all had one intangible moment. So what's yours? Thank you.